Hi, wrestling fans. Thanks for clicking on the Dreaded D Rose Report. I got a lot of breaking news here. Some people have said goodbye to WWE on popular demand. World Wrestling Entertainment's confirmed this afternoon that the organization has come to terms with the release of Shad Gaspar and Luke Gallows, which Luke has been misused for a long time, but Shad, I think he got in some trouble, mouthed off or something, and he's been down at FCW for quite a while. Anyway, the organization has also announced Vance Archer, that is, Kaylen Croft, Tiffany, which never got a chance to come back after her little arrest deal, and this surprised me, Jillian Hall had been all released from their contracts. Jillian Hall was supposed to be doing some training with the Divas in FCW. Anyway, the following statement says World Wrestling Entertainment came to terms with the release of Shad Gaspar, Vance Archer, Luke Gallows, Kaylen Croft, Tiffany, Jillian Hall as of November 19th. Best wishes in their future endeavors, meaning don't stumble in the unemployment line, I guess. Also, referee Aaron Goose Mahoney was among those cut by WWE Friday, too. His release, however, was not officially announced yet, but Vance Archer and Tiffany took to the Twitter, which those were the two. Remember the spousal abuse type thing? Well, anyway, they're one of an item. They talked on their Twitter about their release. It says, "It is what it is," and I get tired of hearing that, don't you? Anyway, it says, "I ain't done by a long shot. Bet that," he wrote. "Thank you all for your support." Meanwhile, Tiffany added, "Thank you, WWE, for an amazing journey. I am saddened by the news, but forever grateful to the experience. Blog to come later today. Thank you to all my supportive fans. You are wonderful." Well, if I'm wonderful, then come on by and see me. The recently revamped WWE Shop.com features a Luminize section. The Raw superstar Zack Ryder is listed among the likes of Jake Roberts. I don't know why. Kamala and Rick Rude. The company's recently released its first clothing line on Zack Ryder, just a basic t-shirt, I guess. And you know, here, this gets me too, and this is one of the worst things I've heard. My buddy's been released from WWE also. Christopher D. Joseph has parted ways with the World Wrestling Entertainment, but it was speculation over the weekend that he was going to be parting ways with the organization, and the move became official Wednesday. He closely worked with Michael P.S. Hayes on SmackDown creative team and infrequently appeared on television as Big Dick Johnson. Now, how could they release somebody like that? Boy, I wish TNA was on every day. Oh, I'm getting mad. It is unknown at this time why Joseph left the company. Of course, he wasn't released, he just left. And last time we seen him was when he was carrying that cake and in backstage with somebody else. I forget who it was. And Vicky Guerrero's face went into it. Yeah, that was him. Anyway, he will be promoted. Who will be promoted to take his place, we don't know yet. But one wrestler who attempted to reach out to the Joseph yesterday received a voicemail and was told by others within the creative team to deal with them instead. So there's a lot of politics goes on in that place. And you know why? Because there's a lot of money involved. According to PWI Insider, all week, talent releases were expected to be made thus far, like I was telling you about the ones earlier, and it's unknown whether there's going to be more talent to purge, and I would suspect there will be. PM Punk Beth Phoenix is going to be appearing at the FCW Hog Wild Super Show tonight in Bradenton, Florida at the Harley-Davidson Event Center. I'm about ready to sneeze. Pardon me. Anyways, Michael Solomon has resigned from his position as the board of directors. Solomon's been on the board for 9 years and was previously the head of Gladwin Partners, which I have no idea what that is. Solomon did not earn a salary, by the way, with WWE, but was given stock in the values of under $100,000 for the past few years. And by the way, did you notice a little bit of confusion when the Iron Sheik was got handed the microphone? Well, here, this kind of explains it. It wasn't the Sheik's fault. Anyway, beginning his promo on the Old School Raw, the Iron Sheik, while Slick was still dancing in the ring in the segment with Santino Marella, after the segment was rehearsed earlier, the Sheik was supposed to start ranting about Hogan before Slick came out. Santino, who was leading the segment, forgot about that and introduced Slick before the Sheik had a chance to start his promo on Hogan. Santino later apologized to the Sheik after the segment was over, but I read somewhere where the Sheik went off on Hogan backstage and went off on Santino too. He says fuck the Santino Marella. Anyway, and he said a lot more on Hogan too. Dolph Ziggler's younger brother, I think I was telling you about that the other day. Let me go on down here to Finding Hulk Hogan. I don't know whether you got to see that or not on A&E this week. It did a 1.0 rating with about 1,300,000 viewers. Don't know whether that's real good for that channel or not. I haven't heard anything else. TNA announced that Against All Odds 2011 is going to be taking place February 13th, Impact Zone in Florida. Matt Morgan versus Jeff Hardy for the TNA World Championships have been announced for the main event in TNA's Final Resolution pay-per-view. As of now, Flair serves as special guest referee. UFC fighter Roy Nelson has been sending out feelers to join the company, WWE. Nelson spoke to BloodyElbow.com earlier this month and talked about Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker and wrestling for WWE. Here's some of the things he said. He said, "I think it's great that Brock wants to fight me. It would be a great matchup, and I believe fans would want to see it, and I'd like to make it happen. I don't care if it's in the UFC or WWE. Let's just get down to it." And he says, "I'll fight Brock in the UFC because they actually put over fights that the fans want to see. UFC isn't up for it, and we'll have to do it in WWE, which is that's fine. And if Brock still doesn't want to fight me, I'll just take on The Undertaker because I'm sure he'd be happy to fight me. We can do Hell in a Cell, or we could do simply a throwback and do a sign and do a deal in the Lion's Cage like Ken Shamrock." Says, "I get paid to act." All right. By the way, now WWE is not a private company, it's public. Vince McMahon can be fired. Not likely, but he can be fired and replaced. So here's a little bit of a deal on his contract. I think the board comes up with it. But anyway, Vince McMahon has signed a 3-year contract with WWE as chairman and CEO. Vince also has the titles of a creative director, writer, and performer. Vince's new deal gives him a base salary of $1.1 million a year and incentive bonuses based on WWE reaching a certain level of profitability. Vince gets an annual bonus of $1.1 million if the company reaches profit goals. So hopefully you lowered them a little bit, Vince, so you can reach them this year. Vince also receives 4 weeks of paid vacation per year and allowed to use the company's plane for personal travels with the family and guests unless the plane has a business matter that it's used for. Vince's contract says that if he is terminated, which obviously probably won't happen, he will receive a cash amount equal to his base salary within 30 days. Vince would also receive 2 years worth of profit bonuses and would remain on the company's benefit plan for 2 years after his termination. If terminated, Vince would retain intellectual properties rights to Vince McMahon or Mr. McMahon. Vince cannot compete against WWE or its affiliates under contract for up to 1 year after being terminated. Vince's new contract is effective March 1st, 2011. Besides 3 years, also an additional year extensions available. Didn't know Vince needs extensions, but he might. All right, the attendance figures for the initial shows of WWE's European tour on November 5th in Wales was 4,900 people, which was sold out. The next day, Birmingham was 10,533 people. Nottingham was 6,865 people there, and Glasgow was 5,050 people sold out.